Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Thanks for stopping by, watching my first impressions video on the R6 Mark II. Camera's been out for, I think, a month now. I got it the day it came out, and I've been very happy with it thus far. I've had a chance to use it on a wedding and a couple corporate shoots. It's really a great camera. I mean, build quality is very solid. But overall, I'll start with my favorite feature. My favorite feature on this camera is the autofocus system and kind of how they refined it. And I actually like it better than the Canon cinema cameras, the way they have it set up. And I'll explain why. Okay, so first thing is you can choose the type of autofocus area you want. I'll usually use this AF area kind of expanded, which is this. Or you can also use this flexible zone, which I use 1 and 2 the most. So 1 is more of a horizontal box, and you can adjust the size and width of that, as you can see. Make it as big or as small as you want. But I leave it about there. And then I love using this particular one right here because it's only going to focus on faces within that box. So this is different from the Canon cinema line, and one of the reasons why I love the Canon cinema line is the AF basically face detect priority. So whenever it sees a face, it's going to focus on that, but if it loses the face, it's going to basically pause the autofocus. This is the first time I've seen this in a DSLR from Canon, given I did not have the R6. I did have the R5C, which does not have this. It just is going to focus on the face no matter where it is in the frame. The reason why this is so great is because if the face isn't in the box, then it's not going to focus on it. And it's going to basically default to, the standard focus on whatever's in that box. So if you're doing gimbal work and they're walking, say it's the couple, you're doing weddings, I like to use this vertical box because it's going to disregard everything on the side. Imagine them walking down the aisle or the couple coming in on introductions. Usually there's people on the sides cheering, and you'll usually center up the couple coming, down the aisle or in the frame. So I can focus on faces only within that time in that frame. And I found that the autofocus works better when it actually has a face to focus on. Like if I just put the box on where their faces are or on their bodies, it doesn't focus as well as if there's a face, and it'll track the face actually a lot better. So that's why I love this. And then the other part about it is you can have 2 modes. I have a quick button assigned to the star on the back of the camera, and I have AF detect only. So it's only going to detect either faces, automobiles, animals within that frame. And then I have it also where it has detect priority, where it'll give priority to an object such as a face, but it'll also, when the face isn't present, it'll still autofocus. So I love that option as well. And to me, this really even makes it better than the Canon cinema cameras as far as autofocus, because I can designate a certain area within that frame where I only want you to focus on faces in the middle, or on this 1/3, or on that 1/3. And that's actually a huge advantage because the R5C, for example, is going to focus on faces all over the frame. So it might jump from the center to the right of the frame. So that's why I have that. I also really don't use autofocus. I use it maybe 20-30% of the time, but when I do use it, I make sure to assign an AF pause button, which on this camera I have it on the AF on. So basically it'll essentially pause it. So once I get focused and they're not moving, go ahead and pause it. That way it doesn't jump off, and it basically eliminates any chance of errors within the AI focus system. So that's why I really love what they've done with the autofocus system, and that's my favorite feature. So the next thing that's great with this camera, of course, it's got the IBIS, which is excellent. I love the mode switch on here between camera and photo mode. And they took this from the R5C. It was the first camera, to my knowledge, to have that ability just to hit a switch and switch from photo to video mode. I love that. I do some conferences during the year and I need to switch in between those modes, and that's super helpful. Another great thing is the The amount of buttons they have on here, I think is really good, and I'm able to customize those as well. So some things that I wish I'd known before I bought it. It wouldn't have changed my mind, but I wish I would have known. I watched several videos, but nobody mentioned you cannot use false color in C-Log 3, which I think defeats the whole purpose of having C-Log 3, because if you're gonna want to use false color, you're gonna want to use C-Log 3 because it's 10-bit. Now you can use false color with the HDR-PQ mode, but I don't have a lot of experience with that particular picture format. But I'll have to kind of play with that a little bit. But I really hate that they disabled that. Like, what's the point of having false color if I can't use it in C-Log? Like, that's a professional video monitoring tool. So why would I use the 8-bit mode and use false color? It makes no sense. I don't know why Canon used their cripple hammer on that. But anyway, thanks for watching this quick video on just kind of my initial impressions and the features that I like the most with this camera. I'm kind of going to go more in depth and go into the button layout I have with it as well in another video. So please like and subscribe. I have some great content coming up for you this year.